Joining us now for his only local TV interview since this news broke is Dave Kaval, president of the A's. Dave, nice to see you. This is a gut punch for thousands of A's fans and really just community members. Simple question to start off. Why do this?
Well, you know, we've been working almost 20 years as an organization to find a permanent home for the A's. It's been a very long saga. You know, we have a deadline for Major League Baseball of January of next year. And we really are at the point where we needed to find a path that we could achieve success on that timeline. And that's why we moved forward with the land purchase in Las Vegas this week and are moving forward with the relocation process with them at that time.
Dave, I don't know if you saw the news conference a little while ago. Mayor Tal of Oakland visibly upset. She said you all pulled out of this deal midway through the negotiations. She said she was blindsided when the team owner, John Fisher, called her last night. Can you confirm that or just clarify?
Well, you know, we've spent 6 years, over $100 million investing in trying to make our unbelievable waterfront plan a reality. We want to thank, obviously, Libby Schaaf, the previous mayor, Shang Tao. Everyone has worked together on this for a long time, but the challenge is the timeline. You know, the earliest that this can come to fruition is 6 or 7 more years away. And with the condition of where we play now, that's a very challenging proposition for us to undertake as a franchise.
You're a baseball fan. You've been in the Bay Area for a long time. You built that stadium for the earthquakes in San Jose. You know how to get things done. Are you disappointed in yourself right now that you couldn't complete this deal in the Bay Area?
I think we're all disappointed. You know, we put so much into our waterfront vision, and to not have success based on all the investment is disappointing. But at the same time, we have a new path and we're charting a course in Las Vegas. And that's why we're turning our attention to getting the final pieces in place there and getting an approval before the league deadline of January of 24.
Dave, I've been around you for a long time. I think I've spoken and interviewed every owner of every sports franchise in their best of times and in the worst of times. John Fisher, the A's owner, the billionaire, does not do interviews. Does he owe it to the fans and the community to just explain what's happening?
Well, we've tried to be as transparent as possible. You know, we've been on parallel paths for about 2 years, looking at Oakland, doing everything we can to make that happen, looking at Las Vegas as another option. And we're really at the point now where we needed to make a hard decision. And with the timeline challenges in Oakland, this was really an action that we felt necessary to put the franchise on stable financial footing. Which is something that's an imperative not only for the A's, but for Major League Baseball.
Would he ever join me on this program or any other journalist in the Bay Area?
Well, like I said, you know, our ownership group has invested, you know, $100 million in trying to make this reality at the waterfront. We've done everything we can. We pulled no punches. We had many successes, certified EIRs, lawsuits that we've won. But in the end, it is disappointing that we didn't find success with the project. But we do appreciate everything that's gone into it. We want to thank everyone. And we just, you know, we want to recognize that there is a sense of disappointment. We know our fans are sad about the outcome today. It's a very difficult day that way. But by the same token, we are out of that limbo state, and we have some direction for the first time in quite some time.
This is certainly not a done deal, at least not yet in Las Vegas. And correct me if I'm wrong here, because I read so many things here in the last 24 hours. It's $1.5 billion in Vegas, that stadium the retractable stadium right off the Strip. You want the Nevada taxpayers to chip in $500 million, and then the A's would take care of the remaining $1 billion. Why would this be a good idea to the people in Nevada?
Well, you know, one of the dynamics in Nevada is that you have so many tourists and incremental visitors. And so it's a lot easier to create a positive ROI to invest in these buildings like they did with the Legion Stadium. You know, they have over 800,000 incremental visitors that come because of that stadium. We think our stadium will have over 400,000 incremental visitors who all pay taxes. So there's a lot of economic rationale and a positive ROI in investing and creating a venue that can attract visitors and also provide for the quality of life for the people who are living in the community. So, you know, that is the economic rationale to do that. It's slightly different than a lot of other communities because of the unique nature of the tourist economy. And it's something that we're in conversations with with the local elected leaders on right now.
If the Vegas ballpark were to be ready by 2027 at the earliest, your lease at the Oakland Coliseum expires in 2024. There's a couple of years there of a gap. Where does the team play for a couple of years before Vegas?
That's a great question. We're going to work with Major League Baseball to identify the best interim plan once we have a final approval for relocation. It could include playing at our AAA facility, Las Vegas Ballpark in Summerlin, which is a suburb of Las Vegas. We could potentially get an extension on our lease in Oakland if that was on offer. So we have a couple options in terms of what we can do, and we'd want to work with the league, the Players Association, and really make sure that was done in a very thoughtful way.
Oracle Park an option? Play in the Giants Stadium somehow?
You'd have to ask Larry and the Giants. I think it's their venue, they own it. Yeah, that would be kind of up to them. But that type of thing has been done in the past with the Giant or with the Mets and the Yankees. So I guess it's not out of the question.
Speaking of other owners, you talk about Larry Baer of the Giants. Joe Lacob of the Warriors, he said publicly for years he has a standing offer to buy the A's. Why not sell to someone who would want to try to get it done here in the Bay Area?
Well, we've invested an incredible amount of money, time, resources, brought everything to bear on making this a success in Oakland. And, I think it's important to remember that investment and all those different setbacks that we've had really have put this project off track and really have created a situation where there isn't a near-term solution or possibility of having success at the Waterfront Stadium. So that's something that I think is just a reality of the situation that makes the situation challenging and is why we've really turned our attention and focus to Las Vegas.
In closing, we've seen the Warriors leave town, we've seen the Raiders, and now the A's. What's the issue? What's the problem with Oakland in terms of getting something done?
Well, I think, the challenge is that we had an incredible visionary waterfront plan. Maybe the boldness and audacity of it was too much. And, we had too much opposition at the waterfront with the maritime polluters, and they were able to delay the project very successfully, which really impeded our ability to move forward on a timeline that worked, especially for Major League Baseball.
You optimistic, or are you a little disappointed, or is it bittersweet tonight for you, Dave?
I think it's a bittersweet day. We feel for our Oakland fans, and, we've had so many incredible memories here, World Championships, World Series, Hall of Fame players, Rickey Henderson, Raleigh Fingers. But by the same token, I think a lot of people, especially in the organization, feel a sense of relief that we have a direction, because that's something that we haven't had for some time. And the parallel pass was something that I think was waning on everyone. So it's a bittersweet moment, and one that, makes you realize, where you are as an organization. And we'll continue to communicate with our fans and the community about the next steps.
Dave Kaval, the president of the Oakland A's for now in Oakland. We appreciate your time and your clarity on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Raj.